Right. Well, welcome to the third, I believe, episode in this particular series on the love framework. We've been talking about what love is, whether you have a partner for life, whether it's soulmates, all sorts of different angles. It must be said, love is one of those things that we all can relate to, and they're multifaceted aspects of it, really. And I'm hoping that we get the opportunity to cover a lot of those in this series because it's relevant wherever you find. Hey, Herbert, how are you? You're on mute, rather. Oh, you're not on mute. You okay? I can't hear you.
Hi, Ian.
I will not be able to talk.
You're not able
He's
to
not,
talk. Okay.
he's not his voice.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So today I want us to look at really some of the things that can stop us from moving on if we do have kind of difficulties or challenges in the area of love. Because love is an ever-evolving proposition. Even if they have major issues, there's still things that need to be worked on as you go along. So I'm just going to put some of those out there and we'll kind of talk about them and see how it goes. So let's start with this one. This one is called Say It. I lie in wait for life to be great. For at the tips of your lips it has been sealed, the blessings I need for life to be great. Or what will it take? When will it be that planets align? All boxes are ticked, unspoken rules fulfilled, for life to be great. My waiting should cease as I am released from the spell of your appease. So I'm going to read that again. Say it. I lie in wait for life to be great, for at the tips of your lips it has been sealed. The blessings I need for life to be great. Or what will it take? When will it be that planets align, all boxes are ticked, unspoken rules fulfilled, for life to be great? My waiting should cease as I am released from the spell of your appease. What are you hearing in this piece?
That speaks to me of heaven.
Okay, say more.
Wow. For all the boxes to be ticked, waiting, ceasing, for life to be great.
Hmm, I
The
like that.
blessing we need. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And of course, we as Christians are generally primed for that. But if we now say, how do we bring heaven to earth then? And in the context of a relationship, what do we say?
That's a big one. We all process things differently, so I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
well, I'm guessing we would like to do that for everybody, wouldn't we? But
Yeah.
life gets in the way, so
Yeah.
health and things like that.
When I think of, sorry, Miriam.
No, go ahead.
Um, I was thinking the first thing that came to mind was this sounds like living life in suspense
I like that.
rather than living life in the now, rather than being and living life in the now. It's like living life in suspense. I'm waiting for these certain conditions before my life is going to be good, before I'm going to find love, before I'm going to this. So it's a life in suspense. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I hear that. Welcome, Mira. Um, I've just reposted the poem we're looking at in the chat. Hopefully you can see it. Um, yeah, that's an interesting idea, man. And I have personal experience of this. This is why I put this in there actually, because there is this world that we live in our heads about wanting someone else to affirm us, wanting someone else to that I will enjoy this experience, enjoy this relationship, enjoy this when these conditions are met. It's that whole idea of people pleasing, is that whole idea of wanting. And like I say, it's not that someone sat you down and actually said this, that, or the other. It's just this thing we carry in our head about it. And so because that's the case, it's like almost we have to wake up to it. Anything else on this one?
What would make life great for you, Frank?
Well, this is the point. So what I discovered was life was already great, but because I was waiting for this other things to fall in line, I wasn't enjoying the life that was great that I was in. Because again, this whole word idea of life being great is a concept, an idea of what I define to be great. So there could be good things happening, but I'm not appreciating them because they're not what I'm looking at. They're not what I'm expecting. They're not the thing that I have decided would really make things great. So I'm making those rules, but I'm not appreciating the things that are already there, freely given to enjoy. Anybody else before we move on to the next one?
Hi, Frank. Hello.
Hey, Mayor, how are you? Good to have you.
Um, it's really interesting. The first two lines, I like
Mm-hmm.
it, wait for life to be great, really reminds me of something I'm more conscious of in the last few years is, stop saving the perfume
Mm,
or stop saving the dress that you want to wear or whatever,
Mm.
for a good celebratory day or something. Just wear it, just live,
mm,
don't wait. I know people who have got very nice whiskies and they're waiting and waiting, and it's like, well, once you're gone, you can't drink it, you know.
mm,
And it's that kind of concept that now I live more in the moment of if you want to do something, do it.
mm,
Don't wait for somebody to say, give you permission. You give yourself permission. If it's gonna get you to where you want to be, like the
mm.
action steps, or just to make your heart sing a bit more. I don't know. So, I mean, those first two lines, that's what really got me thinking.
Yeah, I love that. And that lines up with what you were saying earlier, Claudia, wasn't it? That whole idea of not living life in suspense, but actually enjoying it now. And I mean, even when I look at the area of like work, even like, there was this idea that tying the value of the work done to the amount of money that comes from it. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And then recognize actually the joy of the work is the work itself, and the remuneration is an additional bonus on top of that. And then that kind of just all of a sudden changes the experience I'm having of the same work. Does that make sense? Because I detached from that element of, oh, it needs to have this kind of price tag on it for it to be great work, because the great work is in the doing of it. So the same sort of idea applies really in that context. Anything else before we move on? Okay, I'm going to put the next one in. This one is called common. Common as in shared understanding. Common as to cross many divides. Common as to be unspoken. Common, but not enough to be common practice. I read that again. Common as in shared understanding. Common as to cross many divides. Common as to be unspoken. Common, but not enough to be common practice. What's coming up on this one?
Suppose it would mean, what does common mean to each of us? I mean, in this day and age, nothing's common. It's different, isn't it? But I can see in the shared understanding, it would be good. Then it would cross many divides. What were you thinking when you did this one, Frank?
I'll kind of say that later. I want to hear what other people have to say. But one thing I have to say about what you just said there is that the very contradiction in the word common, right? So the idea that it's assumed to be common, but actually is it really? So that definitely I'd say is on the shelf, waiting to be looked at. Anything else? Or anyone else?
I don't know. Are you talking about love itself being common and the things that it's so common that it can cross, we have shared understanding from it. It's common enough for it to cross all the different divides, no matter what those divides may be. It can bring people together. And also common because it also can be very much unspoken. But the line that gets me is when it says common, but not enough to be common practice. So does the common practice refers to the different ways in which people show up, the different ways love show up in different people?
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to be honest, that's not what I was thinking when I wrote it, but that works so brilliantly. I should have been thinking about that. That is so brilliantly applied, and that just shows the power of words and how it can just invoke so much inspiration. But yeah, that works perfectly well. As in a good thing with common, really, in terms of our understanding of what love is. Oh, yeah, everybody knows what love is, blah, 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 until you come to translate that into action regarding specific persons who have coded love in their own way, right? So to them, this would be love, but you're doing that. So it's that whole love language kind of conversation and trying to understand what the other person's love language is so that as you, then you. So that is beautiful. I love that. Anybody else on this?
Um, yeah, that the line that stood out was it's not enough to be common practice. Me, but what really stood out was instead of the common, I look at it like shared similarities
Mm-hmm.
that humans want and feel and need. But then how often do we celebrate differences? And is that what's not common practice?
I like that.
So yeah, I the not common practice, and actually, yeah, like Muriel was saying, what is common? I don't know, is it more than two people? To some it might be, but or is it more of humanity on a bigger scale? Are we doing it enough? I think more and more people are awakening. I think we're going through this chaotic time because of that. But
No, I hear that. And it almost talks about two levels, the level of what it is that we would like to see. And then when it comes to the practice of it, you need to almost be more conscious of the differences. So that's kind of how I'm saying that. So I just love the way you all have, and this is why I like to do this in a group. I could just written my own stuff, put it out there, and that's that. But I think the beauty of having these kind of conversations is that it brings so much richness to what this could be saying to different people. Because as a writer, once you write it, it now becomes property of the reader to do what they want with it. You have no control over that. So it's just beautiful to see what's come out of this. I'm going to be honest and say exactly this came from that phrase that we often hear: common sense is not common at all, right? So it's kind of the idea that everybody assumes that everybody knows what should be doing or what should be done, but not everybody's necessarily doing it. So it's kind of like, is that really common then? So that's really where that came from. And it's kind of the idea that, okay, even in a relationship, it's always a good idea that what you consider common or assume that you're aligned on is always worth checking in with each other to go, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm assuming, but is that how you see it? So again, you have that opportunity to kind of, yeah, align your understandings so that you can have a proper common understanding. So when you're actually now the outworking of that love is actually something that meets both needs, basically. Anything on this before we move on? Okay, I'm going to put this next one in. This one is called The Place. I went there and waited. It was the place you told me, the place you felt you should be. There was nothing we could do till I found you at this place, the one you are right now, the only place and time things can get done. I'm going to read that again, the place. I went there and waited. It was the place you told me, the place you felt you should be. There was nothing we could do till I found you at this place, the one you are right now, the only place and time things can get done.
Is there a link between this poem and the first one?
There's a link between everything. We're talking about love, right?
I know, but when you were actually putting those words together.
Yeah, you tell me what's coming up for you, and then we'll say if there's something there.
They both talk about waiting or waited.
Okay.
So
You're in the right ballpark because the theme we're talking about is the things that really stop us working through the things that may be getting in the way of either a good relationship or even better relationship, right? So it's the concept of people in it and the impasse. The impasses could be waiting for approval from someone else. Impasse could be your shared understanding of what it is that you're trying to have within each other. And this is another one. But before I let any cats out of any bags, I just want to see what you guys have come up with, or you ladies, I should say.
Do you think it's possible for us to get to a place where we do understand each other? I find you at this place.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we'll ever understand each other.
Yeah, but I think isn't that the point though, that everything is a journey? Life in itself is a journey. You never come to the place of perfection because if you ever come to the place you call perfection, someone else won't necessarily see it as that. So it's about the unfolding journey. It's about having the desire to understand each other better and being able to understand what will help you do that, which is what this is about. Anything else?
To me, it's speaking as if one person is emotionally more mature than the other.
Okay. Say more.
In that they've done more work on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
For the other person, because they love them so much, they want them to join them almost and wait until they're ready. Because I think conflict arises when neither person has done the work on themselves, or the other one's like, I'm simplifying it, but stop blaming me for everything that's going wrong. Why can't you look at yourself or whatever, But this sounds more appeasable. It sounds more like the only time things are going to get done where you can talk about conflict, where you can discuss things more rationally and not blame the person but situations. That's what's coming to me.
I love that. I love that. And that's a very interesting dynamic for both sides to navigate. If you've done inner work and the other person hasn't done inner work and you trying to change the other person, then that has its own communication as well. What they read into it, oh, I'm not good enough now, I'm this, that, and the other. And then, yeah, you've also got the other thing where, yeah.
It's clever what you've written because the place, I automatically went to location.
Yeah, yeah. And it is not a physical place, obviously. It's where we are in our journey.
Yeah. There's a word that comes to mind, growth.
Growth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is a call into growth there. Anything else? Okay, I've got to break this one down, just so maybe we can get some other stuff out of it. So the idea, I went there and waited. It was the place you told me. So there is this idea of the assumption of where someone is based, right? And also dealing with somebody based on the aspiration we have of who we want them to be. And so the idea being that actually you cannot achieve progress until you first align on where people actually are, which goes to what you were saying, Maria, this idea of people kind of understanding where they are with each other. So I can't try and meet you where I think you should be. I need to be real about where you are, and I need to meet you there. I need to accept you there before we can have conversation that does anything else. And so that's that finding you in this place, the place, the one you are right now, not the one I think you'll be in future. Because we can't make progress until we're clear where we are to take the next step to somewhere else. If I'm assuming you're somewhere and I'm trying to meet you there in my language, in my ideology, in the paradigms I'm using. So this comes to what you're saying, Maria, about people, one person having done the inner work and the other person has not. So I've done the inner work and I'm trying to call somebody else along, but I'm making assumptions that they understand where I'm coming from. And I'm having expectations of them about where I am as opposed to where they are. So it's that whole acceptance of where someone is so you can move together, but also doing it in a way where it's not like if they don't, then something's wrong with them, right? Because everybody has their own journey. So those are some of the other things that could come out of that. Having heard that, does anything else come up?
Yes, I'm so happy to be on today that I haven't got another appointment, as sometimes happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering why Maria and Claudette are on. Why have they come? I have come because I want to learn from Frank, because I think he's so deep. I have to get my brain in operation to understand all these poems. So I'm coming because I'm grateful. I don't want to put words in their mouths, but I'm sure they appreciate you too. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate your appreciation.
that's why I'm in the place today.
I
I
like that. I
went
like
there
the way you
for a
did that. I
reason.
like the way you did that. Right. Okay.
Can I just as well
Of
when you're
course.
saying that I'm
Absolutely.
part of what I do is a careers advisor, and the
Mm-hmm.
last thing students or anyone wants to do is if they're not in that place
Mm-hmm.
in their life where things are settled or a little calm and they've got other things to deal with, the last thing they want is to talk about what they want to do their lives. And until you match them where they're at, this is what my experience tells me, until you match them where they're at, you can't move them forward.
I like that.
And I think that is what, when you were talking, and pulling apart, that's really what came to mind. We can't, like you said, our expectations, we need the outcome, let's say. That's not going to happen if you're battling with somebody who's not there yet.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how the dynamics can cross over.
Yeah, and it's all this thing about acceptance. Accepting what is allows you now to move from there to somewhere else. If obviously that, and before I say that, let's go to the next piece because I think that then talks about some of the prerequisites for that to happen. This one is called open. Very short. Open arms, open heart, open mind, opportunity for growth. Open arms, open heart, open mind, opportunity for growth. Of course, I'm trying to create my own word there. I'm seeing if you'll catch on, but
yeah, I haven't heard that word before. I thought it was a spelling mistake.
I was just trying to be clever, to be honest.
It's good. Opportunity. Okay.
So what are you seeing there?
Well, I guess that's why we've come today, to learn with open arms, open heart, open mind. Growth. I'm learning anyway. I can only speak for myself. Growth in the English language.
The word vulnerability comes up.
I love that. Yeah, say more. I love that.
Because I think sometimes in order for you to grow, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. And I think when people hide their vulnerability, they kind of close. That's like a closed arm, really. And it also closed down opportunities as well.
Yeah.
So I just think that willingness, that step to be vulnerable, not to be afraid, to be vulnerable.
I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And how will that vulnerability show up in the context of a relationship, for example? How would that vulnerability show up, do you think?
Saying how you feel, expressing yourself without feeling guilty, not hiding who you are, not being yourself, living your own truth rather than living somebody else's truth.
Yeah, I like that. Which takes us back to that appease, isn't it? When you're trying to appease somebody else, you don't live your truth, you live someone else's. Because you think that's what they want in order for them to approve you. Another thing we didn't actually pull out from that is that that journey never ends because it's a story that you made up in your head. And those boxes never all get ticked because they're boxes that you create. And more frustrated you will get, the more you think you're ticking the boxes and you're not getting the approval that you're looking for. Yeah, there is a major theme around what you're saying there. I love what you're saying there, Claudette, about vulnerability. Anybody else on this?
Yeah, Brené Brown. I don't know if anyone knows Brené Brown. She
I'm
does a lot of
familiar with
work.
some of the work, shame and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
But she uses the phrase "drop your armor." So the arm is there, right? The shutdown, the armor, and be softened, and just. But you have to be open to do this in order to do it. And I believe we be our own heroes, and the O in hero is openness. Because without that, you're very rigid and with that fixed mentality rather than the other one.
Growth, like having a growth mindset.
That mindset becomes very fixed. because maybe for whatever reason you've been hurt in the past or you've been disappointed so many times, for whatever reason that is. And I think to understand others, you have to have openness of mind and heart. So it becomes less judgmental.
Yeah.
And that's where I like that, the opportunity. Again, the Oxford Dictionary, really.
Don't know. Yeah. Were you going to say something, Mira?
I was laughing. Sorry.
Okay.
Opportunity. Sorry.
Opportunity. And I suppose that this takes both. The ideal is for growth to occur, you need to be open to the opportunities and to see those opportunities and to take those opportunities. But the flip side of it, like we said, is if it doesn't feel safe to do so, then you're not likely to do so. So the question really becomes, because one thing I would say to people is your mind's priority is to keep you safe, not to make you happy. It doesn't care. If you're happy and safe, that's brilliant. But if you're unhappy, as long as you're safe, it doesn't care. So what then happens is if somewhere in your mind it is coded that it is not safe to open up, you won't. And so it's that idea of, okay, what in that context or dynamic is shutting you down? Is it in your head or is it real in the environment? And what can you do with that and about that? How can you have that open conversation about this is how I feel, and this is what's making me show up this way or what's impacting my ability to be open? Because growth is in accepting, because I know that whenever I've had the narrative that the other person needs to change for things to change, things rarely do change. When I take responsibility for what I can be and how I can show up differently and how can then things evolve. So it's kind of that taking that responsibility and asking yourself the questions. What is it that's stopping you from being open? Because you know openness is where growth will occur. And then taking that inquiry from there, really. Anything else on this? Right. I'm going to put the next piece in. This one is called Willing Steps. Dreamy intentions, mounting desires. No one ever arrived from where they never left. Honorable intentions, touching many lives. Nigh impossible, never having connected. Laudable ambitions, all worth the mention. Uncomfortable as may be, starts with the first step. Thoughts are great, words are good. Add in some action, the invisible becomes reality. Indeed, the bridge to manifested dreams. I'm going to read that again. Dreamy intentions, mounting desires. No one ever arrived from where they never left. Honorable intentions, touching many lives. Nigh impossible, never having connected. Laudable ambitions, all worth the mention. Uncomfortable as may be, starts with the first step. Thoughts are great, words are good. Add in some actions. The invisible becomes reality. Indeed, the bridge to manifested dreams.
The first thing I thought about was Sorat was having all these desires and things in our head that we want to do or don't want to do or whatever, or things we want to achieve. But unless we actually put some actions to it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to move from your head. You've got to move it from your head to manifest it in your life.
No, I hear that. I do hear that. Anybody else?
I think, like Claudette said, I mean, lots of people have visions of how life should be and how they'd want them to be, but until they actually get out there and do something about it, it's not going to happen, is it?
Mm,
Thoughts are great, words are good, but add in some action.
yeah. No, I hear that.
Though it's interesting you put the invisible becomes reality.
Yeah.
Deed the bridge to manifested dreams. Yeah. But you have to get to the bridge, don't you?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And the deed that you do is the one that gets you across the bridge.
Mm.
Yes, Mayor.
It was the starts with the first step, you know, that quote you might have heard is what is it? Something to be great. You have to do something first to be great, not the other way around.
Yeah. No, I hear
I'll have to look. I have a lot of brain
that.
fog.
You have to look that one up.
You have to start to be great.
Yeah.
Something like that. You can't do it otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's like procrastination. And almost like sometimes it's fearful because you are afraid of your own greatness that stops you.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Marianne Williamson, I think she's got that. Our biggest fear is not because we don't think we're going to succeed, it's because we're afraid of our own greatness.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
But yeah, I've learned, you know, a lot of my life I stayed thinking I'll just be nice and good and things will just happen the way I want it.
Mm.
Good human. But it was only in 2018 I started thinking about taking the actions. Doesn't matter how much you dream of a life. You've got to live through them. You've got to live through the actions. You got to take those. And I think, yeah, you've really encapsulated it, really, not just in depth, but simplified as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that personal example because those always add some life to these words and the notion of that whole. I remember I had this thing where it was kind of like I actually like things very simple. I like things straightforward, things I can control. So if I put too much effort into this, then it'll just blow up and then I won't be able to handle it. And then it'll be this, that, and the other. And the mind starts predicting all these things that are going to occur. So yeah, I really get that idea of being afraid of your own greatness in that regard. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Anybody else on this?
I think sadly sometimes people find it even hard to get out of bed, to put anything into action.
Thank you. And for those people, getting out of bed is the action.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They actually get out of bed. One thing I found with the mind is sometimes when you have a dream, especially when it's a very big dream or something that has a very wide scope, it kind of tries to predict that future and then tries to take you from 0 to 1,000. And then it just makes you think, oh, that's just so overwhelming. I won't even bother. So it's that idea that, okay, what is the smallest first step I can take in trust now that I can start to do, even if it's just publicized. No, I'm having this idea. I'm thinking of doing this, that, and the other. What does anybody think? That. You know, he wants to take 1,000 people in an auditorium and all that kind of stuff. But we know that from nature, a seed is sown. Then sometimes you don't see anything for a while, and then it has a little shoot, and then it comes up, and then the corn in the air, and then the full-grown thing, and but that takes time, takes process. But without that seed going in the ground first, we have nothing. So that is the whole idea. So just take that small little step and trust the next step will come. Anything else on this one?
Yeah, it's like somebody who wants to try and get fit, wants to go swimming, but they don't know how to begin. One of the first steps is, or running even, whatever it is, just leaving the bag or the trainers by the door. That's it. Don't even have to do anything, right? Because that's your brain and get gauging the brain into, oh, well, I've done that part.
Yeah.
You know, I can go and have a chocolate biscuit, it's fine, but I've done that part.
Yeah.
So it's then the next day, even walking with the trainers 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even the next day, whatever, but it's tiny steps like that, I think. But I don't, and I love what you said there about we think 100,000% we've got to do it so quickly. And I don't people realize, I didn't, that it's okay to take the first rung on the ladder and even go back on it and then come back up. Because we're in a society, in a world that says, do this, do this, do this. All like, you know, going back is just, well, you're not good enough if you're going backwards. That message is now there. I don't think it's out there enough.
Yeah, I think we so easily forget when we're learning to walk, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you go, you fall, then and your brain is learning all the time from every time that happened. Okay, yeah, this happened, then readjust and go again and go again. I think another thing worth saying is, let's put this in the context of love and relationships and things like that. Is that whole idea? I remember I'd, have all these thoughts in the head about, if I can do this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, and then when it comes to the context, it's kind of like you kind of, it just stays in your head. You never actually open that mouth and say the thing that you are going to say. So it's that even in that context, that those little things that you think it will be a good idea to try, but you just kind of just never quite. And it's just worth just doing that little thing, no matter how small, just doing it and learning from that experience. Anything else on this before I put the next piece in? Okay, this one is called Life in Flux. Life is neither here nor there, as in being no longer this here, but not quite over that there, making peace with what is, perchance that's what progress is. Life is neither here nor there, as in being no longer this here, but not quite over that there, making peace with what is, perchance that's what progress is.
Is there such a word as perchance? I've never heard about it. I've never heard it. Is that one of your new words?
No. Well, actually, in my head, I've heard it before, but who knows? As long as you get the sense of what it's trying to say, that's fine. I'm just looking it up now, actually.
I think it is a word.
It is a word.
And perchance I'm still alive at 79.
Yeah.
So what does it actually mean? Is it by chance?
By chance,
Is it another way of
perhaps
saying?
it means perhaps. Synonyms are perhaps or possibly. Perhaps or possibly.
Okay.
It's probably not used in this modern day parlance, but
no, that's what it is.
Yeah.
This piece sounds like being in limbo.
I'm hearing. Let's say more.
I don't know. It just seems like it's a bit like suspension, like the other piece.
Yeah.
Or was it? Am I talking about? Must be my life that's in suspension.
You may say
of,
that. I couldn't
parts of
possibly comment.
or parts of my life. Yeah, being in limbo. You're neither here, neither there, in transition,
Right. Okay.
yeah, in
I like the idea
transition,
of transit.
transit. That's what comes up for me.
Okay. I'm hearing that. And this is a play on ideas and concepts, so it'll become clear. But let's keep going. Anything else on this?
I like the word perchance because it reminds me of my grandparents. They would have used words like that. So it's nice to remember things like that, perchance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like saying possibly, consider, it may
Mm,
be, perhaps, that kind of thing. Um,
yeah.
what's coming up for you, Maria?
Another P word, patience.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
just because sometimes it's very slow.
Yeah.
It's not like instant gratification, like a lot of people want everything instant, like Instagram, instant. Everything is short.
Hmm. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I know you've got a go soon, haven't you? Um, so this is a play on the idea of transition. And I love what Claudette said there. You can look sometimes very down at, oh, you're neither here nor there, you're just never. But what I'm actually inviting us to look at is we are all in transition somewhere or the other, because we started somewhere and we are constantly taking action, doing things, and we're no longer where we used to be, but there's probably not where we're looking to get to, but we're in between. And for us not to reflect on that as failure, which goes back to your word about patience, that maybe you are making progress. That if you look back and realize you're not where you used to be, yes, you're not where you think you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. Therefore, you are, by that definition, making progress. Make peace with that as something that's a good thing. And then just keep going back to the top one, taking your actions. And that
There's
is
another,
life, basically.
there's another P word there, pausing.
Uh-huh.
Just to pause and look back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
we tend to forget that part.
Yeah.
I'm only talking through lived experience, that's what I can speak about. Because
Mm.
you tend to forget
Mm.
because you haven't got to where you want to be. So you're like, keep going.
That is exactly the point. That the mind looks in the prediction to the future, takes you
Yeah.
out of the present, so you're not conscious of what's actually already transpired. And you end up leaving that whole reflection with a disappointment rather with gratitude and peace.
Present. There's another P word.
I'm expecting a peace from this, Maria.
Yeah. No. I've got a dash, but this has been absolutely delightful.
Oh, it's so good
Thank
to have you.
you.
Thanks so much for your contributions.
So I'm lucky I'm off today, so I really wanted to see how the master does his work.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Answer to Muriel. It's kind of why I came as well. And it's lovely to hear the other opinions and views.
Yeah.
By the way, you
Okay.
look very glamorous, Muriel, for 79 years young.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
you do
you.
indeed.
Listen, all I can say to you young ladies is with opportunity, perchance we will get there.
Oh, I
I
like
like
that.
that. That's a
Yes, and
good
with
one.
that, Muriel dropped the mic.
Brilliant.
Actually, I'm gonna call it there actually, because those are all the pieces we're gonna look at anyway. So thank you so much, everyone. I'd say, what's your biggest takeaway, Maria, before you leave? Your biggest takeaway?
Um, Reinterpretations and meanings, and
Right.
it intrigues me. And I really like there's no rhyme either, and I've learned that. I do a lot of rhyme poetry, so it's really been insightful to see and the depth.
You're most welcome. Lovely to have you. Muriel, what are you taking away from today?
A lot more growth and a lot more inspiration, and just loved being here. So,
Yeah, it's
and
lovely
same
to have.
for that again. I haven't seen you for a while, so
Mhm.
it's usually I have groups that I go to on a Friday, but thankfully today they changed the time. So
Oh, that's
Okay.
beautiful. Lovely to have you. And Claudette, what are you taking away from today?
The different perspectives,
Hmm.
um, new words, perchance. Uh, I'm going to be using that.
it's a good
Uh,
one.
and was it open opportunity, something like that? It was,
Opportunity,
yeah, yes,
opportunity.
yes, yeah, opportunity, yeah. So new words, new perspective, and just keeps me to remember that there is so many different ways to look at things.
Yeah, no, I hear
So
that.
I really like the one about openness and
Yeah,
being vulnerable, and it's
yeah.
okay to be vulnerable. I think that's the poem that's touched me today.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And I've just realized I always ask these questions and don't say mine, so I should say mine as well, shouldn't I? What I'm taking away from today is that those different interpretations of the piece are common, because I just thought that was amazing the way that was just framed and it worked. I love it. So that was for me that idea is, and I'll have fun transcribing these, I reckon. All right. Well, whatever you're doing with the rest of your Friday, enjoy
Yeah,
and
you
have a
too.
great weekend. All
And
right.
see you. Bye.
Yes,
See you, Muriel. Bye. See you.
bye
Take
bye.
care.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.